Hi, I've been called in as an expert on, I guess you could say, a species that I've only run across once in my life. And I'm pretty much an expert on the species, MacQueenus Eccentricus. For 38 years I've been studying this species, and as far as I know, he's one of a kind. He's quite a remarkable species. Kind of bizarre behavior at times, but a lot of fun to watch. He's into fermentation of all kinds. Sauerkraut, pickles, even his own beer, strictly for educational and research purposes only. This species knows nothing about camouflage. He'll show up with brightly colored Crocs, sometimes a Hawaiian shirt, even shorts. I've seen him wear shorts once in a while. Actually, there was a whole series of I think it was like weeks, maybe months, where a nasal strip was applied to the bridge of his nose. And that really served as a good field mark for a while, but then that sort of disappeared too. No scientific reason why that happens as far as I can say. We've noticed some peculiar food habits. Can't really quite figure them out, but he seems to store a lot of his food in refrigerators and in right next to boxes of dead animals. It's kind of weird that he does that. He's rarely seen without a coffee mug, which could be another field mark. Hazelnut, I think, is what I smell on his breath most of the time. Over the past almost 4 decades, I've become kind of attached to this strange but endearing, one-of-a-kind species. And I fear that he can't really be replaced. Once he's gone, he's gone. So we have to really try and conserve and maybe even preserve the memory of this great species, MacQueenus Eccentricus. Okay, we're about to go on a field trip. This species is known for field trips, but we're just going to go to a field trip to where we're actually trying to find him. And usually he's very easily found. He's easily approachable. He's probably going to totally ignore us, so we can get quite close and observe this amazing species. No, not here. Probably up around the corner. That's usually where I find him. That's not his voice. That's the voice of something that happens often in his class. It's probably a movie. No, not in here either.
At this stage, boys and girls look exactly alike.
He's in here.
And not just on the outside. Inside, there are 2 gonads, which could become testicles or ovaries. And there are 2 sets of
This is a
tubes,
typical
one in
science
case it's a
class
boy,
that he
the other for a girl.
conducts.
Of course, there's one way to tell the difference.
Usually talking about something to do
Look
with
at the
sexual
chromosomes
things.
in a cell from the embryo. One pair among the 23 determines sex.
Notice he totally
An embryo
ignores
with
us.
2
We can
X
get quite close
chromosomes
before
usually
he'll
becomes a
observe
girl.
us.
If one of those X's is a Y, it will most likely be a boy. Recently,
This is typical
scientists came
behavior.
up with a good idea of how this works. There
Completely
are only about
oblivious
30
of those
genes
observing him.
on the Y chromosome. One of them is called
Totally
SRY.
into what he's doing.
This gene seems to function just once in a lifetime, late in the 6th week of embryonic development, and only in one place, the gonad.
There you have it. Quite a remarkable species.
Testosterone
Phil-Mont, among the most magnificent of schools. Its impact on Covenant children stuns the imagination. The heritage of the entire generation hangs on a tiny population of dedicated teachers. In the great broad-leaved forest of Erdenheim, the days are beginning to shorten, and a primeval sound is heard through the forest. A collective groan rises up from students and educators alike. The good times will not last, and a new school year is about to begin. As the sun's influence diminishes, the local inhabitants must make preparations for life with 9 months trapped inside with little sun. It's a silent world where little stirs, but there are occasional signs of life. Some creatures are very difficult to glimpse, such as the MacQueenus Eccentricus. Wearing very distinctive attire, particularly adapted to his surroundings, the MacQueenus Eccentricus stirs. Back from his summer migration, his emergence marks the beginning of the school year. This rugged creature endures the rigors and trials of teaching years, decades even, after most others have fled, all the while protecting and nurturing his students above himself. There is little coffee, and he will not see the sun again for 9 months. No greater ordeal is faced by any other organism. His students arrive in the lab. Student brains begin to shut down, losing their motivation in the face of the dark, cold months ahead. Only an expert can connect with these students.
Is that going to be fun? Are you looking forward to that? Yeah. And you get to eat it. We have to make sure.
One whose special characteristics, eccentricities, can reach through the decades to capture their hearts and minds. They are hungry for knowledge and wisdom and hang on the MacQueenus Eccentricus every word. The inhabitants of this lab ecosystem depend on MacQueenus Eccentricus for educational sustenance in the face of months of constant quizzes. The spring sun. With it comes warmth and a problem. It portends the imminent end of the school year and the retirement of the MacQueenus Eccentricus. The sun's energy brings color to the landscape. His students are healthy and their minds brim with knowledge and insight. The MacQueenus Eccentricus, though, is becoming weak, and there is no coffee in sight. The winter months were difficult. Yet the MacQueenus Eccentricus must reach the end of the year before losing his mind. Only the promise of the coming summer migration and large infusion of coffee provide the necessary sustenance to carry him to graduation breakfast. It is at this breakfast where students' testimonies again and again confirm the uniqueness and importance of this very rare species. It is the MacQueenus Eccentricus' ability to survive annual change that has allowed him to teach thousands of students, and so the MacQueenus Eccentricus leaves one final gift: the legacy of 44 years of the gospel, wisdom, and love imparted to generations of Phil-Mont students, a gift beyond measure indeed.